Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. This reading is going to be for the sign of Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus sign. This is your December 2020 monthly reading. I'm doing a 9-card grid using the Cosmic Tarot. I've already obviously laid all the cards out. Of course, if the reading resonates, don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe. If you'd like to book a personal reading, you can do so through my website, or feel free to contact me directly on any of my social media channels. All those details are listed down below. So Aries, let's jump into it. I feel a lot of change happening around you, but I feel like it's either, I feel like you have some choices or decisions to make, or possibly it's someone that you're connecting with. I'm picking up on a lot of fire energy in your reading, which makes sense because you are a fire sign. But of course, it could be another fire sign. Obviously, we are also in Sagittarius season, right? So it could be another Aries, a Sagittarius, or just the energy of the season, or a Leo, and also Aquarius energy as well. So if you have Aquarius in your chart, have I filmed them already? I think I did. So that should be up and available, and all the other, you're the last fire sign reading, so the other fire sign readings are up now as well too. So the first card you have is the Four of Wands. I'm getting this sense of, and it feels like it's already sort of started happening because it's kind of coming up in the past placement in the reading, that you're just sort of looking for more stability and security. And so that can be, a very sort of internal process, or this could have very much to do with like your physical sort of location, your home, your work sort of circumstances. So again, for some of you, it's like these changes may have already started taking place, or you've already been thinking about it. And it's like sort of like just on the horizon, or, maybe you're coming into this energy. The next energy that you have is the two, sorry, I'm trying to block I'm trying to block my dog from getting to, he's trying to get underneath the table, which he always does whenever I record. So the next card that you have is the Two of Swords up there at the top. So that's the first sort of Aquarian energy that I'm picking up on in the reading. The other thing you might want to pay attention to is like, especially if there was sort of anything that sort of has come up for you, or that's happening or changing from the time of the full moon that we had last Monday. So on the 30th of November, we had a full moon lunar eclipse in the sign of Gemini, right, which is another air sign. So again, it could have sort of had an impact on sort of your mind space and your thought processes, and perhaps again some changes sort of happening around there. This card more specifically is speaking to, again, that sort of decision-making energy, either a decision that you've already made, or that you're in the process of making, or that again is like just sort of on the horizon. And the message of this card really tells us, right, like connect with your inner knowing, connect with your intuition, right? The decision is based off of the light of the moon, right? And that's why this card is in complete darkness and shadow. And the moon is sort of the only illumination here, because it's saying that, don't make the decision based off of sort of, what you sort of see in your 3D circumstances or environment, and certainly not based off of the, sort of opinions or expressions or thoughts of other people, right? That it has to be sort of internally based. So again, I am picking up very strongly on that decision-making energy. It's coming up again with the Two of Pentacles, right? So, with this Two of Pentacles, I feel like the decision that you've made or that you're making, again, is really about sort of finding a deeper sense of balance and grounding, and again, sort of stability and security in sort of whatever way, again, that may resonate for you. But yeah, I'm just picking up on sort of in that way, kind of like that, like air, like Libran energy, right? Like balancing of the justice scales. So keep that in mind, right? Again, especially if you haven't sort of made any decisions, major decisions, I should say, recently, it does feel like those are coming up. So just to sort of pay attention and be aware, okay? The next card that you have is the Three of Wands. And a few messages that are coming off of this card. One, I do feel like you may sort of be in this place again, as you're sort of in your mind space, in your head space, thinking logically, practically about how to sort of bring in more stability, security, and grounding for yourself, that there may be a need to sort of prioritize, right? Like, what are sort of the more important things you need to sort of pay attention to, or tasks you have to take care of, versus maybe what are some things that you can kind of put on the back burner and get to later. The other message of this card, right, is this is the quote unquote ships coming in card, right? And this deck is super interesting. It doesn't have some of the more traditional representations of the some of the cards, but it really, for me, sort of amplifies that idea of as above, so below, right? You see the figure sitting there, sort of pulling and drawing down that fire energy from the sun to the earth, to sort of transmute our thoughts and sort of our spiritual gleanings and inklings, and making those into realities in our earthly kind of existence. Okay, so it's saying that whatever it is that you're trying to manifest, alchemize, trying to achieve, that is on its way. The final message of the card is that everything in divine order and timing. So there's always a strong sort of call and message about patience when I see this card as well, right? And you may have sort of experienced some delays with regard to perhaps some plans you had, especially if they involve travel or relocation, or maybe some sort of creative project that you were sort of working on that seems to be more like communication focused. And I'm going to get into that in just a second. So at the heart of the reading, you have the Six of Swords, right? So this Six of Swords is talking about, it's the metaphorical or literal movement card, right? So again, it could be talking about perhaps relocating, perhaps traveling for some of you, or it's just talking about, a metaphorical kind of movement, a change in sort of, your inner being, I feel like a lot of you, it's like you're just coming into deeper alignment with your higher self and sort of like who you are, and like whatever the sort of next stage or cycle of your life is. Right. So I'm sort of seeing like an amplification or an elevation kind of energy in that regard. And again, for some of you, it is related to, travel, relocating, or like changing jobs, right? Some sort of changing circumstances in a practical sense, or if not in a sort of practical, tangible sense, in a more metaphoric or figurative sense. The other thing that I'm getting off of this card, I'm trying to block my dog again. Sorry. He's so crazy. I swear we go through this every time. Zeus, no. So the other message that I'm getting from this card is that, if you or someone else was sort of suffering from, any sort of health related issues, right? And it could be physical, could be mental, sort of emotional. I do sort of see an improvement, okay? Or again, sort of a change in that kind of circumstance. Now, getting into that sort of creative energy that I was feeling, because I am feeling that very strongly. A lot of you, you may sort of be whether you're aware of it or not, I feel like there's a lot that's happening around your solar plexus chakra, right? Which is kind of like right in the middle of our tummy, right? Your gut. And your gut, by the way, is really connected to your intuition, right? That's why they say gut feeling. So again, I feel like, there's this elevation and amplification with regard to that. So I feel like as you're sort of tapping more fully and more deeply into your intuition, you may sort of also be getting creative inspirations, or just sort of like a compulsion to create. Okay. And for a lot of you, again, I am getting that it could be like very sort of communication based. So, maybe writing, or singing, songwriting, something sort of along those lines. I feel like it has to do with, some sort of verbal form of expression, but of course it doesn't have to be, right? Sort of all creative and artistic forms are some form of expression, right? But I do see that energy. The next card that you have, Nine of Cups. So I always tell people, make a wish when you see this card, very quickly followed by be careful what you wish for, right? Like make sure that it's something that you really want, that really, again, aligns with your higher self and higher purpose, and sort of your, future sort of directional aims and goals. It could also be, because I am getting this energy now of like a sort of another person that you may be connecting with. Okay. I'm not really getting a clear read on their energy necessarily. Like, and by that, I mean like the sign. But I am seeing like, it's like I'm sort of seeing like someone who, and again, whether it's you or someone that you're connected with, but someone who sort of like wants a situation or wants two people to kind of like come together. Okay. And, you know, it could be that there was sort of like a little bit of like a tumultuous time in terms of this situation or with the relationship of this person. And it seems like there's this very kind of healing energy that's sort of falling over it. Okay. The next card you have is the Devil card, right? Which is sort of a good follow on from what I was just saying, because the Devil sort of talks about negative or toxic associations, right? Codependency, things that sort of hold us or wield a kind of control over us, can sort of work to keep us stuck or stagnant. And again, whether that was just something that you were experiencing personally, right? Whether again what was related to your environment, related to your work, perhaps related to, you know, health related kind of things. Again, it feels like it's almost like the chains are kind of breaking, right? That you're breaking free of that energy. Or again, especially if this is talking about, you know, a connection that had perhaps soured or become a little bit codependent or toxic. Again, it does seem like that may be changing. The next card you have is the Prince of Wands, fire energy. And so with the Prince of Wands and the Empress here right at the end, I'm picking up very strongly on that sort of like creative compulsion kind of energy, this like need to sort of create or sort of, you know, metaphorically birth or, you know, create something new here. For some of you, it could be that you're sort of like learning something new too, right? Like a new sort of skill or a craft that, you know, that again seems very creatively related. And then perhaps, you know, you parlay that into some type of business endeavor, right? You take it beyond the scope of simply being a hobby. Or again, it could be someone that you are connecting with as well. And the Empress card, right, is sort of another message about that, because the Empress is all about sort of, you know, creativity and fertility. So of course, for some of you, this could, you know, there's been a lot of like, I've been picking up on pregnancy energy in a lot of my readings. And so I'm getting that a little bit in your reading too, that could be a part of the message as well, whether it's you or someone that you're connected to, you may sort of be receiving some kind of news about that or hearing about that. Or again, that could be you sharing that with other people. Okay. Underneath the deck, you had the Star card. So that a more Aquarian energy. And again, the Star sort of speaks to that sort of healing energy that I was seeing for a lot of you. Also, I do feel like, you know, your sort of work, or again, that sort of, you know, creative pursuits could lead to some sort of, you know, public stage or public forum, right? That it's something that's going to be sort of shared broadly and widely, or that you're going to sort of, again, be someone who's sort of like elevated or promoted into sort of that type of position or role. And then you have the Strength card, right? More fire energy here. Leo energy can also be Aries, but this is just saying, you know, it seems like whatever it is that you've sort of been going through, right? I'm just like hearing that phrase, like grow through what you go through. It's really required like this, you know, sort of tapping into your inner strength and sort of realizing, you know, how much sort of strength and support that you have from within, right? And also from your sort of spiritual side and your spiritual support team. So Aries, let's get your numerology card and then we'll close out the reading. These readings have been getting shorter and shorter. Yours not that short, actually. I just saw parenting and creativity, right? So definitely both of those messages came up throughout the reading, right? And again, health, which again, some of you or someone that you're connected with may have been sort of facing some type of health issue, okay? All right. All right, so you have karmic completion, the closing out of a cycle, number 10. I'm going to read for that card and then we'll close out your reading, Aries. And of course, endings beget new beginnings, right? So this card indicates the end of a karmic lesson or cycle where you have successfully cleared a contract or debt from your past. This could refer to a challenging situation you have recently conquered in your life, or a troubling experience with an individual that involved a great deal of effort or pain. Even though there are ongoing lessons to confront throughout the course of your life, you will never have to experience this particular lesson again. This card also represents the wheel of fortune, where whatever goes up must also come down. Just as the tides are constantly ebbing and flowing, you are being encouraged to adopt to both the highs and lows in your life, right? Being in the flow. For it is in your ability to adapt that you will make your dreams come true. By stating this too shall pass in the face of each and every experience, you will remain centered, grounded, and stable. And remember, that was especially at the beginning of the reading, that was a very strong energy that I was picking up on, that you've sort of been working on your own grounding and stability and remaining calm and centered. The affirmation here says, I clear debts from my past and create a happy, harmonious life. And to that point, I just wanted to add, I haven't said this I might have said it in like one or two of the other readings, but not all of them. But since it came up, more of a collective message, not just for the Aries collective, but like the collective generally speaking. I feel like especially this eclipse season, right, as we close out 2020 and we're in the midst of eclipse season. I talked about that eclipse that happened on November 30th. We have another one coming up on the 14th of this month. I feel like for a lot of people, these eclipses are about closing out past karma, right? So whether it's lessons you had to learn in this life, or even if it's sort of karmic debt that you carried over from past lives, if you subscribe to that, okay? So Aries, again, that's been your December monthly reading. If the reading resonated, please don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe. You can also donate to support this work. My donation methods are listed down below, along with my website link to book a reading, or again, you can follow me over on social media and just message me on there if you're interested in a reading. I also post additional information to my social medias, so you may want to follow that, because I usually try to do card pulls for the signs once a week and some other stuff. So definitely check them out. Let me know what you think. Say hi, don't be shy. Thank you so much for watching, Aries, and I look forward to seeing you in your next reading, which will be a year ahead card spread. I did them for all the signs for this year, so if you want to go back and take a look at that playlist, you can see if that reading resonates for you. If you want to come back and check it out when I get to them later this month, or of course, again, you could book your own personal year ahead spread. That's a very popular one that people like to book. So at any rate, I'm going to shut up. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next reading. Take care. Bye.